The narcissist and intimidation abuse. The main reason a narcissist uses intimidation is so that you fear them, meaning you will conform to their demands out of fear. They also use it to manipulate you and cause more confusion within your own mind, with subtle threats that make you wonder if it's a real threat, if they're messing around, or if they will act on this threat, or if they'll just leave it be. They do this purposefully, so you are worried about the threat, but you don't want to make a big fuss in case you are imagining things or they've just reacted to something and you're not sure whether they're actually going to take action on it or whether they will just leave it be. They use intimidation to keep you trapped within a relationship. You fear speaking out to other people as you might think that you're overreacting, as the narcissist will have most likely already told you that you're overreacting and you are imagining things. You are not imagining things and you are not overreacting. If something does not feel right, it is not right. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Shaw, and this channel is all about the narcissistic personality disorder to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with in your life and how to handle them if you cannot go no contact, as the disorder is on a spectrum and some people are just narcissistic without actually having the disorder. So there is those that you can handle and there is those that are extremely dangerous and you need to move away from. And most importantly, the channel is about recovery from narcissistic abuse and moving on to a much happier life for you. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications as videos are released weekly. The different types of intimidation they will use, and it usually follows in 5 steps. So the first one is the non-physical intimidation, where they stand over you, look down at you, get in your face. They may break things, punch things, raise their voice to get you to fear them. Covert threats of, I wouldn't do that if I were you, or how would you afford to live without me, to get you to stay in the relationship. Or overt threats like, I'll make you pay, followed with some form of punishment, and things like you'll never see the children again or you'll have nothing, to stop you from doing something or from leaving them. Threatening to harm family members, pets, so you fawn and give in to their demands for fear of what could happen to you or to loved ones. The threat of debt collectors when it comes to bosses. Pity plays of, I've got nothing without you. So you go and help your parents out when they've done something negative towards you, but because they use pity plays of, I've got nothing without you, you feel obligated to go and help them. Again, people not on the disorder can say those kinds of things like, I've got nothing without you, usually because they genuinely believe they have nothing without you. A narcissist says it to guilt trip those around them into doing what the narcissist wants. 2, isolation, destroying your personal property, hiding passports, giving you no access to your finances or any finances. When you're driving in a car, so there's no way out, I shall add the video in the description about when you're driving in a car with them, they will use a car journey to intimidate those around them. Taking you to isolated places, cutting you off from friends and family, making sure you have no support. Some will even go to the extremes of taking your phone off you. 3, restraining you, blocking doorways, locking doors and hiding keys, taking your car, physically holding you back, often claiming it's in your best interest. Anything to cause you to feel trapped with no escape. Threats of, I'll tell everyone you've done this, often using your biggest secrets and weaknesses against you. So you conform to the narcissist's demands for fear of others knowing things that you don't want them to know about you, causing you to feel trapped with no choice but to fawn and do what the narcissist says. What I will just add in here is when it comes to people wanting to tell people things about you, owning your own insecurities, owning your own vulnerabilities, owning your own weaknesses. We all do have them. We have all made mistakes. Once you can own them for yourself, no one can use them against you. It's a moment in time. Things like that will pass. So focus on you and your life and focus on healing yourself. 4, aggression. There are many types of aggression they may use, from spitting, slapping, pushing past you, shoving you, sitting on you in a playful manner, yet you've requested them to stop as they're hurting you, so they will do it all the more. Making you feel guilty over saying no to sex and trying to guilt trip you, or they may sulk to break down your boundaries and get you to change your mind. Again, with things like this, people can, in a relationship, a personal relationship, ask one to do another thing that the other one doesn't want to do. And they may ask again, but then they will respect the other party's boundary. They will drop it and they will let it go. A narcissist will keep pushing and pushing until you break down your boundaries. So other things like tickling you, but to the point where it causes pain, and you know they are not playing. You have asked them to stop, but they will tell you that they are playing and they're only messing around and you're mardy or grumpy. Hitting you with something, throwing things at you, hair pulling, strangling, kicking, biting, burning, force feeding or denying you the right to eat, shaking you, pinching you, punching you, and many more. They will always find a way to justify their behaviour. It'll not be a case of a good person pushed to their limits who understands this is not an excuse to hurt another person, knows the errors of their ways, feels guilty and will not do it again, or a good person throwing things to defend themselves, which reactive abuse, I'll add the video in the links to that. The narcissist will find a way to twist all the blame onto you and see no fault in the part they played or their own behaviour. 5, as those close to you become more, as when you're close to them, you become more used to their behaviour and you gain some form of level of tolerance. The narcissist recognises if you haven't given in to their demands, then they will up the level. If you have fawned and given in to their demands, fawn meaning complying to what they ask of you, walking on eggshells around them to protect yourself. So if you haven't already fawned to their demands, if you're still trying to stand up for yourself, they will escalate their intimidation to threats, verbal threats of killing you or killing loved ones. Physical violence will become more regular, often with the if you hadn't, I wouldn't, and who would believe you, you're crazy. And the verbal threats at the beginning of killing you can be done in such a subtle way that you're not sure whether they've just said it out of anger or they've twisted the blame onto you, so you completely miss what you did. And as you're in that stage of blaming yourself, you genuinely believe you provoked them to say that and they wouldn't actually do it. Most are just threats, but some are extremely dangerous. So either way, if someone is threatening to harm you, you need to get out of that relationship. Not all narcissists turn to physical violence. Most stick with intimidation. So if you are still in a relationship with these kinds of people or around these kinds of people, what not to do? Don't plead with them to stop. Most see this as a weakness to continue. Don't argue back or fight back. They are not interested in your point of view and they enjoy taking you off topic, twisting facts on you, watching you get angry, and they will provoke you until you react. So they can play down what they did and exaggerate whatever your reaction was. 3, don't defend or explain yourself. Anything you say to them will be used against you. Know in your own mind what your intentions are. They are then left believing that you have criticised them. They might put you down, judge you, and they will do these knowing that it's going to get that reaction with you. So know within your own mind, only you define you, and you don't need to have to explain yourself to people that don't understand you. 4, don't seek to be understood or them to know how you feel. They are not interested in you and they are interested in winning at all costs. 5, don't make threats back, as this will most likely escalate the situation. 6, don't make excuses for their abusive ways. Abuse is abuse and no one deserves to be treated that way. I know it's incredibly difficult when it comes to excuses. We like to try and look for the good in other people, and those excuses are extremely valid within our own minds, but don't look for excuses. See it as it is and what's actually happening or actually did happen. 7, don't self-blame. You did not cause the abuse and we are all in control of our own actions towards others. Yes, sometimes even good people get pushed past their limits, but they will feel guilty. A narcissist has no boundaries, no limits, and without consequences from authorities, they will continue to abuse people. How to handle intimidation. We are all capable of abuse without even realising it. When we are provoked, angry, scared or hurt, we can all be guilty of judging others, of withholding, of criticising, of controlling. But where we can see where we went wrong, learn from it, apologise for it, abusers take it to a whole new level just to pass the blame. It's healthy to be accountable and recognise our own actions, but we should never take accountability for someone else's actions. No matter what is said or done, no one is entitled to abuse another person. Even good people have their limits, and if you're around people who push you to those limits, it's time to walk away from those people. If they are narcissistic or not, abuse is abuse, and it's time to leave them in your past and look forward towards your future. People either cannot or don't want to cut people out of their life, or might still be in a relationship with them. It could be a boss, parent, family member, friends, siblings. So sometimes people do need the knowledge of how to handle them. Other times you need to cut all contact. In order to help yourself when it comes to intimidation, you have to know within yourself that you are not imagining things. The narcissist twists everything not to be accountable. Again, if you're still in the relationship with a narcissist, you need to take notes of these threats. Record every act, no matter how small. Save somewhere safe where they can't find the information. The same as on your phone. If you can record, take photos and send to a safe email account that the narcissist knows nothing about, and delete them off your phone. I wish I'd have done more of this. In the odd moment I did take the odd photo, so I do have some evidence. At that time I didn't know why. It was just instinct to take the photo. It is vital to keep all evidence and gather all evidence that you can. If they are abusive, they might escalate into court. Never ever show that record to the narcissist to prove you are right. They will take it as criticism, you will get rage, and it will be destroyed. Make sure it's kept away from your home or somewhere the narcissist cannot find it. If it comes out, some will deny, say it's taken out of context or that you've made it up. With enough evidence, the truth speaks for itself. Their reality is different to yours, and you may also need these to remind yourself. Once you have left, you may need these to remind yourself what you are leaving behind. When you're recovering from the trauma bond, doubting their abusive behaviour towards you, wanting them back, looking at that evidence to remind yourself in those moments of self-doubt that when you're having those moments of self-doubt that they weren't that bad, when you look at those photos, you can remember that they were. They will have done their best to get in there first with other people and their smear campaign. I shall add that video in the comments. Leave them to gossip and know your own truths. A written diary of events down the line will counteract the narcissist's memories of events that took place. When they start to threaten, if you're still with them, when they start to threaten, if it's all possible, you need to leave the room you are in. They might follow you as they will feel criticised. Only you know the capabilities of the narcissist that you are dealing with. If you stay in the room, do not challenge them, as hard as this can be. If you pay close attention, they are very predictable in their patterns of the way they behave and the way they argue. The manipulation methods that the narcissist works through, the idealisation, the devalue, the discard, the hoover. Your brain has been trained to respond to them in a certain way. So now you need to make a conscious effort to retrain your mind to think how you want to think. When you break the repetition of your reactions to them, it gives you an advantage as it sends them off balance. Do not agree to save yourself from a threat. Do not challenge them on it. Stick to no reaction. Call the authorities if you need extra help. If you've left, they might stop with the intimidation and they might change to the next tactic. Again, if you take note and observe what they do, you will see the pattern. Some narcissists are extremely dangerous, so you need to get out and stay away from them altogether. Others are mostly mouth with little action. Knowing your boundaries and sticking to them, when to say no. When it's a no, it's a no. Having healthy boundaries is to protect yourself. Again, get support if needed. Police, therapy, speak to those you trust about what's happening to you to give you that clarity. The narcissistic personality disorder is on a spectrum. Yes, they all have similar traits. They are all individuals though. You know what yours is truly capable of. The narcissist doesn't learn lessons as they cannot self-reflect or accept responsibility for their own mistakes. They just blame all others and never learn from their own behaviour. They will just repeat the same cycle. So once they've worked through all the other methods and still not got to you, they will go back to intimidation. Once you've worked through different methods of trying to handle them, that is when they try to up their games and up the games. Working on you, working on who you are, working on your insecurities, working on your vulnerabilities, working on your reality, who you want to be, listening to your instincts, even when you do not know what they are telling you at that moment in time. Trust those instincts and go with them. That gut feeling is, so far I haven't heard anyone say that gut feeling is wrong. The only time it's wrong is when people don't listen to it, find the excuse to go against it, and then realise that that instinct was right all along. Keep working on you. We do need to learn about the disorder because it does give us that closure. So it's fine to work on learning about the disorder, to understand what you're dealing with, and to give you that closure. With some people, though, at some point, you have to let it go. Once you've learnt the information, you do have to leave it be in the past. With others, they can carry on learning the information, new information, helping other people, and it helps them. So do what is right for you. If you need to learn what you need to learn and then leave it be, do that. If you need to learn what you need to learn and then find it interesting and you can still live your life with joy and happiness and help others, then continue to learn. We are individuals. It's about finding the methods that work for us. You can and you will move forward to a much better life for you. It's all about working on yourself, healing yourself to find the method, again, that works best for you. I will add those videos into the description box. I shall also add the links for the online courses that I do run. If anyone has any questions, please do add it into the comments. If anyone has any advice for anybody else, also again, please do add that into the comments, because one person can listen to something one way, read something one way, and it could just give them that light bulb moment to help them move forward. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.